So, when we think of depression, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Usually, it's something deeply personal, right? We think about work stress, a bad breakup, or maybe a devastating loss.
Right. Or if you want the most scientific take, we talk about a chemical imbalance in the brain. The classic serotonin story.
Exactly. But what if we told you that the weight you're carrying didn't actually start with you? What if its roots go all the way back to the land your great-grandfather walked on? What if we started seeing depression not just as a private feeling, but as a reflection of history itself?
Like a collective wound, whispered down through generations. A shadow that stays even when the person who cast it is long gone.
Have you ever even considered that possibility? That your sadness might actually be a form of inheritance?
That's the heavy-hitting question we're asking today. We're diving into a perspective that pretty much flips the script on everything we thought we knew about mental health. We're moving away from the private struggle and looking at how depression is actually a historical residue in societies shaped by colonial rule.
It's a radical shift. It's about realizing that what's going on in someone's head is often a direct result of what happened to their ancestors' world. It takes depression out of that lonely, private struggle and links it to the centuries-long shadow of colonialism, to a shared, collective history. This isn't just about what's going on in someone's head. It's about history, economics, and power structures.
Exactly. What's truly fascinating is the starting point. We've stopped asking, what's wrong with this person's brain? And started asking, what was done to this person and their ancestors?
That's a total game changer. It shifts the focus away from the individual and toward the material conditions that shape them. Think about the word residue. Depression in these societies is like a historical residue, something that has settled, sunk to the bottom, but is still very much there, weighing on the minds of the oppressed.
And when you look at how this residue forms, you have to talk about Karl Marx. He pointed out how colonialism wasn't some cultural exchange. It was the forcible integration of entire societies into the global capital system.
So, it definitely wasn't a polite invitation.
Not in the slightest. It's more like kicking the door down.
Exactly. And that break-in was violent. When your land is seized, the work your family has done for generations, the stuff that defined who you were, suddenly becomes meaningless in this new system. You're not just losing property, you're losing your place in the world. And that break-in we're talking about? It wasn't just about money or resources. Think about it. Your land is seized, and suddenly, the work your family has done for generations becomes meaningless overnight. It's stripped of its value.
And it doesn't stop at the fields. Even your family and kinship ties, the very fabric of your life, are torn apart. Those bonds are forcibly reshaped just to serve a new economic order.
This is where we see that it's not just economic ruin. It's a form of violence etched directly into your memory and identity.
Precisely. It's like David Harvey describes with accumulation by dispossession. It's a constant, ongoing theft. Imagine waking up and being told that everything that gives your life meaning, your beliefs, your relationships, your land, is now worthless. You're told you must now live by the rules of a new master.
So we're talking about something much deeper than just losing stuff. It's a total loss of meaning. It's the ultimate dispossession.
And here is the heavy part. The descendants, the children and grandchildren, inherit both that material poverty and those psychological scars.
Exactly. The grief, the alienation, that nagging sense of not belonging, it's passed down through generations almost like it's written in your DNA. The idea that a modern-day state of mind could have roots stretching back centuries, that changes everything.
It's a psychological legacy, like someone leaving you a massive debt you never asked for.
That's a perfect analogy. You didn't spend the money, you didn't sign the papers, but you're the one the collectors are calling. You're the one stuck paying the interest on a trauma you didn't even cause.
You didn't rack up the debt, but you're the one stuck paying it off. That's exactly what this is. The emotional bill for that massive rupture, for that collective trauma your ancestors endured, somehow finds its way to your doorstep.
It's such a powerful and haunting idea. But how does it actually work on a psychological level? I mean, how does the society's history manifest as a concrete, bleeding wound in an individual's mind today?
That's where Frantz Fanon comes in. As both a psychiatrist and a revolutionary, he saw this firsthand. He argued that colonialism does much more than just traumatize people. It builds a systematic machine that makes an entire society sick.
Right. Fanon has this famous definition. The colonial world is a world cut into compartments. Think about that. It's like there are these invisible but impenetrable walls. On one side, you have the settler's world. It's bright, orderly, and if you live there, your humanity is never questioned.
And on the other side?
The world of the colonized. It's dark, it's cramped, and it's a place where you are constantly belittled. In that compartment, your very humanity is up for debate every single day.
Precisely. It's a geography of oppression.
That compartmentalized world idea really hits home. It's as if these invisible barriers are constantly whispering to you. This is where you belong, and nowhere else. This is all you'll ever be worth.
Exactly. When the world is built to keep you in your place, you don't just feel sad. Your entire being is crushed between those walls. It's not just a feeling, it's the structure of your reality.
How could that not crush a person's soul? Living in a world where you're constantly made to feel worthless, that sounds like the very definition of depression.
Exactly. It's not some fluke or an accidental brain glitch. It's the natural byproduct of a society where human dignity is systematically denied.
So, people aren't just breaking down because of a bad day or personal bad luck.
An entire people is being subjected to conditions of dehumanization. This brings us to Albert Memmi and his concept of chronic dependency.
Chronic dependency. That sounds like a life sentence.
In a way, it is. It means that after a while, the colonized person starts seeing themselves only through the eyes of the colonizer. Their entire self-perception becomes a reflection in a distorted mirror held up by the person oppressing them.
So, feelings like inadequacy, hopelessness, helplessness, these aren't just symptoms. They are a direct response to that distorted mirror. They're almost identical to what you'd find in a clinical manual for depression.
Because they are one and the same.
But the root isn't a lack of serotonin in the individual's brain. It lies in that collective historical experience. It's in that compartmentalized world Fanon talked about.
Right. Depression, in this context, acts as a mirror. It's reflecting the colonial structure itself. If the world around you is broken and oppressive, your inner world is going to reflect that fracture.
It's a truly revolutionary way to look at it. It shifts the source of psychological pain from inside the individual's skull to the historical and social structures surrounding them.
Absolutely. The question is no longer, what is wrong with your brain? But, what was done to you and your ancestors? That perspective completely upends everything we thought we knew about treatment and healing.
Wait, something just occurred to me. There's a part of this that I'm struggling with.
What's that?
Most of these countries we're talking about have been politically independent for decades, right? They have their own flags, their own leaders, their own governments.
So you're wondering, shouldn't that have been enough time to heal those psychic wounds? To finally tear down those compartments Fanon mentioned?
Exactly. If the colonizer is gone, why is the depression still here?
That's the most critical point of this whole perspective. Because, unfortunately, political independence isn't a silver bullet.
So the flag changes, but the feeling doesn't?
Exactly. Replacing a colonial governor with a local president doesn't automatically change the underlying architecture of the society. This is where we have to talk about Achille Mbembe and his concept of necropolitics.